Hey, look at that. Hey, I feel like the production quality of this series has kind of plateaued. I need to fix that. So I did that to kind of change things up. You guys didn't see that coming. Shoot, where do we start? I'm so tore up, but we'll get into that in a sec. I want to go over a few things on this inverted row. So first of all, I love this row because your lower back's just like in zero gravity mode. It's in chill mode, basically. It's on the hammock, floating. It's floating, puffing, and it saves. It's you get to save a lot of the stress that you would put on it with most horizontal rows, so that you can use it on other days on other lifts where there's no way around it. You're gonna have to use it. So we got that. I love the fact that when you're dangling from that, it's like there's a stripe in your upper back like that of tension. It's like so basically it's hanging, it's stretched, and you're more likely to break with your upper back, more likely to break. With a blow bar squat, you break with your hips first, and then the knees and ankles follow. With this, you want to break with your scapula. And with this row, I just found that people have an easier time doing that. The other thing is that once you get to the point where you're actually adding weight, so I'm using a plate right here, 55, that's what that was. You end up like having to squeeze your glutes, which it relates back to the whole principle of irradiation. So basically, this is something that you want to do when you're grinding out those last reps, is to ensure that you get them, right? Maybe even a few more. Squeeze everything. Check your grip. Squeeze the weight, your legs, your glutes, calves, all other muscle groups that might not be working. When they light up, everything else will follow. So, and by having that plate there, you're in full hip extension, and it kind of promotes that. So, yeah. So, let's see. Lessons to be learned. I like to do lateral raises on my knees, because what you'll see is that my hand with a kettlebell cannot go any lower than about navel level. What ends up happening when you go way too low, a lot of other tissues in your shoulder kind of spring you back up. So it's kind of like when you're doing one of those suitcase carries. You know how your rotators are just like turned on. So what this does, right? You'll see that if you stop when your hand is at navel level, you might miss a few reps. You might not be able to do as much weight as you can if you're doing a full ROM, because again, now it's just that muscle that you're targeting that's doing it. If it's heavy, which again, you should only go heavy on this. Heavy on this is like, say, below 12 reps. Maybe, sometimes I will go all the way down and let other structures help. But usually, most of my lateral raises are on the higher rep side. And yeah, that's my rule. Like, hand to navel level, no lower. You do that, you'll feel a noticeable difference. You're probably going to have to lighten the weight. But hey, it's better. It's time well spent this way. So I need a deload. This week was horrendously hard. My reps on this preacher curl here. I like doing on this side because that's the direction in which gravity points. Right? You do it the other way, it's like hard freebie, right? But yeah, all sorts of new like striations there, some new veins in that bicep. I'll take that, man. I'm like 30 something pounds over stage weight. So it's working. This stuff is working. But yeah, I pushed it a bit too hard. I think I came out too assertive during this training block. Usually I kind of, the way I like to see it is, it's like charging a door, right? You're gonna have better luck charging that door if you can, kind of have a little running start. So hitting the door, the impact, that's, I guess, the peak of the training block. I didn't give myself as much room to grow into that. So I basically, charged the door, and I was like, 5 inches away from it. So didn't work so well. We're okay. I'd just rather play it safe than sorry. I'd rather, chill out a little bit, recharge, and then just get right back to it. So that's what I have for you guys. It basically miscalculated things a little bit. And because of that, we're going to have to deload prematurely. So that's been confirmed. I have one more serious training session tomorrow. I'm training with a friend, and I want to make sure that one's fun. It's back at Phil Heath's gym, the Armbrust gym. So I'll be there tomorrow. But this was like basically the day that told me, yeah, I am done. Because good mornings, I haven't had a bad day with good mornings in months. Remember when I lost my belt in Iceland last year? I hit a PR like 2 days later after like a day and a half of like traveling. But yeah, my timing was all off. It felt heavy. I had to warm up a lot more because the left side of my lower back was cramping up severely. So yeah, all bad. But again, I stayed within my limits, and I didn't go too hard. I think this was, what is this? It's like 265 or something like that. But yeah, like it's just it didn't it just didn't feel right. And I think it's more than that. I think it's 295. Anyhow, it was 295. It just didn't feel right. And yeah, we'll recharge. We'll get better and go from there. So what I do want to do. I think so. Next entry, we're going to go over MyoRep progression skills. Who should use them? When we should use them. Like, make it a little bit more formal, better than what it's just kind of been scattered in there. But I want to make it a bit more concise, since a lot of you guys do take what I say like to heart. Like, you guys trust me, but I want to make sure that that I'm being clear and concise with, because a lot of this is not recommendations. Like the way I see it is I think I have two of my athletes on like using MyoReps in some way, shape, or form. That's it. Yeah, the way I see it is like this is. I want you guys to learn more so from the holistic side of things, right? More so than like do exactly what I'm doing. By the way, this is where my pull-ups are at. This was my last set of 4. That Jeff Nippard video got me going on these pull-ups. What I did want to share with you guys, just wanted to show that off. And we look all right too, right? Even though we're cuddly right now. So long head tricep movement. I might make a this is like Instagram post worthy, I think. Yeah, like long head tricep, right? We got to keep that humerus rolling, and while we're extending at the elbow, it's just hard for a lot of people to do skull crushers. Like, most people, it tears up their elbows eventually. It's just like the head gets in the way. But remember what we've learned with like unilateral like work, right? Like a lat pull down with single arm, the pull over single arm. You just have an easier time connecting with that. So with this right here, I'm still all off. Like, it's not even synchronized. Like it's like robot, right? It's like humerus, elbow, do your thing. But yeah, like I am getting a tremendous stretch on that tricep. It was actually overwhelming on a few of these cluster sets that I did here. But if you're having a hard time finding a movement for the long head of your tricep, try this single arm cable variation. I don't like using any sort of like a D handle or anything, or even a rope. I really like the way just like the cable feels in my hand. But yeah, I've never found a long head tricep movement that I've loved. But this one right here, I'd been doing it with the cables of late, but it was dual arm. Tried single arm just for funsies. Someone took the attachment. That's what happened. So I did this, and holy, this was amazing. This is like now going to be, I think, one of my. How do you have aha moments like 20 years into lifting weights? Almost 20 years. But this was mine. Like, this movement was just, I've never hit the long head of my tricep before. Maybe that's why they look that way. But yeah, this was phenomenal. This made my day. So if you have a hard time finding the long head of your triceps, try this movement. Try this movement. Just remember to keep that shoulder in the socket. Like, Don't let it don't let it get pulled out. That's not good for that area. But yeah, I think you guys will like it just as much as I do. But with that said, we're deloading next week. I'll have something special for you guys. We'll do the myo reps, and we'll show you guys how we're eating these days, all right? That's what I got. That's it. Hey, love y'all. Appreciate y'all.